My name is Samantha Charland, and the person that I chose for my biography was Ruth Ann Rehfeldt. So Dr. Rehfeldt is an assistant professor in the Rehabilitation Institute of Southern Illinois University at Carbondale. She has a doctorate in psychology from the University of Nevada, and she is also a board-certified behavioral analyst. There's a picture right there. She has co-authored one book, which is Derived Relational Responding, Applications for Learners with Autism and Other Developmental Disabilities. And she has co-authored or written over 35 articles. She is also currently working on a book right now that is expected in March of 2020, entitled Applied Behavioral Analysis of Language and Cognition, Core Concepts and Principles for Practitioners. So in her books as well as in her articles, she's collected data on different demographics of people. She's worked with children, she's worked with adults, she's worked with people without disabilities. But her target goal always seems to consistently be teaching either a vocational skill or working with linguistics and communication, as well as cognitive functioning and growth. So I took a lot of her articles and compared the methodology between them, as well as the end goal, in order to establish a sort of baseline of methodology. She has worked, there's an evaluation of instruction and visual imagining on the written spelling performance of adolescents with learning disabilities. Further analysis of selection-based instruction. Derived relational responding, so applications for learners with autism and other developmental disabilities. The effects of behavior training on implementation of picture exchange communication. So this one was the one that she was working with people without disabilities. She was attempting to teach them how to work with the PEC system in order to better communicate with their students. Effects of dictation taking and match to sample training on listing and spelling responses in adults with intellectual disabilities. So again, another communication skill that she was teaching to people with disabilities. So the end result always seems to be teaching a communicative skill within her work. This is actually her book, the other one right here, that is going to be published in 2020. And I wanted my interview to reflect the methodologies that she used within her work. Although my first question is rather self-indulgent. It's about the other article that she wrote that was a little bit different. It was about the glass ceiling and inequality within the field of behavioral analysis and her thoughts on such an inequality. But my second question was about her book, the first book, and discussing different practices and methods for helping students with ASD with their social, communicative, and cognitive learning. I wanted to know if these were universal practices, like they could be applied everywhere with all children, or if certain practices within her work needed to be a case-by-case basis. And so I moved on to the next book, which is pictured right here. I wanted to know if she found some newer research and touched upon it within the book. And if so, how did those behavior techniques and practices work in conjunction to the one in her first book, or were they completely different? In dealing with her contributions to the field, I really truly feel that she expanded upon Skinner and his cognitive functioning and communication. She's worked for many years to establish a base of literature about communication, vocational training, and linguistics, backed by the scientific method and applied behavioral analysis. And using new research and applied behavioral practices, she has really expanded the research into methodologies and pedagogy for teachers and professionals working with students and adults with disabilities. And by that I mean her work isn't consistent of things that are just found in a lab. The people who are reading her articles can take these methods and apply them to her classroom, or to their classroom, or to their students, or working with the individuals that they're working with. And I think that's very important to the fundamental understanding of what Dr. Rehfeldt has been attempting and trying to do with her research. She's been attempting, I believe, to make a more profound change within the community in order to better help students and teachers. So teachers and professionals everywhere are now able to use her comprehensive research for themselves, as opposed to some sort of outside influence from a lab, or this research that seems far away. And I think that's pretty great.